for the auto, but the minions were in the way.
Yeah.
Graves could not shoot over those minions, but Trick is moving very quickly up here. Sven has no summoners. He has to be careful under this turret.
2 flashes and an ignite used.
Taliyah coming too.
Yep, as you say, Taliyah coming in as well. 5 minutes, so the reinforcements on this top turret are down. But the pathing from G2 defensively is very smart. No ability to take down the first brick.
They see Optimus. This is going to give Perkz great time to farm in mid. Can they drop tricks here, though, to make use of the roam? Looks like he will go down, but it might just be Bards. No, Optimus flashes forward to get the kill, and that's first blood.
This is something the Gigabyte Marines can do with that wave pushing in mid. We outlined in Champion Select. They have a lot more failsafes. Sure, they invested a lot in making this play happen, although
Perkz is actually TPing in here. They're going to look for a fight.
Perkz goes hard. Optimus takes the journey. Can anybody follow through this one? Chum the Water's not there as both mid laners are level 5. And it's just going to be a walk out for the Gigabyte Marines.
I think that was an intelligent TP from Perkz. They know that Gigabyte Marines is trying so desperately to get this first turret down. As soon as the first turret falls, expect them to start falling across the map with this Ziggs siege pressure. So G2 really needs to fight tooth and nail for every turret, and I think both teams are fighting so heavily for that because of this.
Trick's lack of respect for Rush and in general play on the Nunu almost overestimated his tankiness, both in the first game we saw today and in this one. It's made to pay his bot lane. Stark's 1v2.
Whoa.
Does have ulti, remember, he's
Expect
6.
misses quite a damage flash forward from Stark because he feels like he can get the kill. But they did trade flashes to the skies in, and a quick E to the face should be the kill here for Expect. Gets the auto in, and the minions have de-aggroed.
Oh, that was pretty close there for Expect. Maybe could have waited for Nunu to slap him a couple more times, but does work out for them in the end.
There's definitely holes in the game plans for Gigabyte Marines. That part has been clear ever since they took the Rift earlier in the play-ins, but you understand that basically you actually identified Azael very clearly during the champion set. You talked about, hey, they want to take down the first turret because from there, you just rotate around Perkz. Doesn't matter what lane he's in. He doesn't really offer anything when it comes to clearing us. We're going to finally see a replay. No defensive vision down, creative path from Trick, but at this point, it looks like it'll be academic, but it actually falls basically one auto attack short of it being a 1-for-1.
Yeah, I mean, that missed Shock Blast from Expect makes this ridiculously close as, yeah, that last auto would have done it.
During all this, there was the solo of Trick onto the Ocean Drake. Nunu's actually one of the few champions that can do that. Because, of course, no reduction in the true damage from the Consume You Max first means that the damage reduction there is not as big a factor. The extra healing he gets through from the Consume makes it possible. Well, the Ocean Drake will be happy days for the members of G2.
And it can be pretty interesting to actually track the skill order of the Nunu, and he is going for 3 points consumed now. I'll be interested to see if he decides to go towards Snowball. Sometimes players do want to duel up, harass the other jungler a bit more, are going to go more there after the 3 points in queue. And if you want to just do more objective control and farming, you're going to continue and full max that queue. So sometimes it can give you an idea of the game plan. Plus Kog'Maw, if you're going to play around him, maybe you start putting points in W.
Blood Boil Max, even from the jungle, was something we started to see the last time Nunu was in meta. The Snowball was the oldest of the most recent maxes. Feels like, even though that was the trademark, it's largely been moved away from. I think we saw 5 points in Q the last time from Trick, but the moment that you see your Kog'Maw hitting item spikes, that's when you just jam all the points in W.
Make sure he is protected. They still have the Lulu if they want to go that way. Expect with a kill for his name. And now they're going to transfer over to Perkz here. Levi bot side, but he's going to be warded out. So G2 may just kind of toy with him here and waste his time. Oh, he's getting a lot of love. Weaver's Wall should cut him off. No, it ends too early. Optimus hops off as well.
Just that rank 1, so not going to be able to get all the way there, but you know, things looking pretty good for G2, I would say. You know, they're able to scale up. They've been able to keep their turn line, but now Sven.
A lot of damage. No more meeps for Archie, so he can't really follow up with too much. But the Mega Inferno Bomb is down, and they have lane control. Bot lane's going to see Perkz in just a few seconds if he continues his roam.
Bard also just hit 6, so they could look for a dive here. You can ult the turret and go for the Kog'Maw if you want to try to set that up. We'll see if they're going to try to make a play.
Perkz continues to pressure mid. Once they see that, they may try to, but the minion wave has pushed off just a bit too far, giving G2 good breathing room. This next wave could be the one, as Perkz now choosing to go topside. Cosmic Binding could double up easily here, but Sven missed out.
Flashes out of it, so Stark's flash, so Stark's teleport is wasted. Got it. Perkz will walk up as well. Every minute that piles on is bad for the Marines as well. He's just instantly dead.
He is eaten up by Chum the Waters. 22 seconds on that. You can see how early we are in the game for these deaths to be going down. But Perkz made the right choice, was going to go bot, decided top, and comes up with a kill.
Yeah, he goes straight up to top, knowing once again they have to fight for the turrets. And now Trick is behind Slay here. He'll be okay, though. Just backs right out. Both teams are playing so heavily around this, and this is, you know, to your point, kind of one of the holes in the Gigabyte Marines game plan is, if it's obvious to us, it's obvious to G2, and then you can be in position, you can get there for the counter ganks, for the turret holds, and for these return kills.
Again, first impression, really impressed to see G2 stick to their guns and give so much over to the Marines, but this is such a race against time. We know how oppressive G2's comp can be in the late game, and we know that hitting timings as a Ziggs comp is basically 9 times out of 10 the difference between victory and failure. So far it feels like the Gigabyte Marines have been even more transparent than they have in previous games, and credit to G2. They've seen through a lot of those sort of engages, and that first turret, and thus the turret snowball, has never happened.
I mean, I like the idea from Gigabyte Marines. You put a little bit more damage now. They already did the lane swap last time, but now Ziggs with that armored turret, maybe take it down a little faster, but they got even less this time, so it fizzles out even faster.
And I think it's one of those things sometimes where you're trying to put your opponents in an uncomfortable position.
For sure.
Not a lot of people are playing lane swaps. Not a lot of people are playing bot lane Ziggs. Put G2 in a position where you think they may make a mistake. And, you know, this time G2 responded appropriately, but many teams may not have.
Archie pathing over will be found clearing. And now when you're rotating multiple members around Jace, that's where, again, things kind of fall away from the Gigabyte Marines. Mid lane.
Chum the Waters onto Optimus. Oh, the double tap after he hits the ground. Perkz feels like he knows the capabilities and is using them to the max of his Fizz.
This is not top lane Fizz. This is an AP Fizz. You do so much damage. As soon as you hit that ultimate, it's almost a guaranteed kill unless there's peel available or you're someone very tanky.
Adjusting your expectations is so hard when you cast top lane Fizz into this mid lane Fizz. The ult is used to wave clear, but remember, that's a lot of damage on mid lane turret and also the bot lane turret traded for the first blood turret, and first blood turret was nerfed in recent patches, so already it feels like the Gigabyte Marines are trading down, and you can never do that with bot lane Ziggs.
Yeah, you definitely can, but the next few minutes here I think are going to be pretty critical because the Gigabyte Marines are looking for a kill on Perkz, and they're looking for this mid lane turret.
Well, 2 seconds.
Get the Q. If he walks in between the turret, it's going to be the easier one to throw. Dodges out to the left. Nicely played to draw in that ability from Slay.
Yeah, Perkz was trying to very aggressively wave clear there, spend his life to buy the time for Sven to get to that mid lane so that they don't just lose this turret right away to the Ziggs. And one of the things that is also very nice about G2's comp is it's not all eggs in the Sven basket. Although Kog'Maw is going to be a massive threat and has the Nunu and the Lulu, you still have huge split push pressure coming out of something like the Fizz who can perform assassinations like this.
Instantly popped. Again, adjust your expectations, not your television screens, or computer screens, I guess, as more common.
And we saw the bit of protection props there to Mithy in the last play for saving Perkz as he did get into trouble, so they realize what kind of power they need to help out here in the mid lane as he is getting himself going nicely.
A lot of good coverage around the bot lane as well to make things predictable. G2 just returning to the mid lane that, remember, was prepped earlier.
Optimus trying to work off the ball. Top side of the map is being pushed in. Expect paying respects to that as he goes to clear it. But we'll see. Now that this map starts to get between the turrets, there could be the picks that Gigabyte Marines is looking for to get. But right now, G2 is the one that's getting all the picks they want.
And Perkz is hunting on the bot side here. I'm not sure if he was actually spotted out on the way down, but he's going to look for a fish.
Just on the side, if you go around it, he's going to be good. Well played by Stark. But Perkz is hitting that ult on cooldown. Mithy's in, can't get anywhere towards the turret. He's gonna get bounced back as well. Seismic shove, and the rest of the damage to take down Mithy. Absolute Zero's already gonna do full damage after a few, but Trick keeps it to keep them in line. And he almost goes down for it. Yeah, it's gonna be Archie picking up the kill. And Expect now coming in slow. Will he go through the sky? He's still in the range mode. Didn't go to hammer. Gets himself taken down in a bit of a misplay from G2 as they feel like they had the follow-up.
And it really felt like the initial damage from the Absolute Zero couldn't even track if that was actually the rank 2, because of course if you have the passive up, you get the extra damage. It felt like a lot of damage, but every time Nunu gets a full channel it is, so we'll track that on the replay. But from there, Expect really did misjudge the situation, flashing in aggressively as a Jace, not getting a single kill. As the Weaver's Wall was really nice to open this up, and the rest of it is all about the Nunu.
Yeah, this was very well played, I think, by the Gigabyte Marines, bringing the Taliyah down as the Bard ulti lands. They have very nice combos to initiate this, and they're able to pick up a couple kills here, and this is the overextension here from Expect, thinking he could finish them off. There's 4 members here, doesn't even get the 1 kill, and gives over free.
And when you have a defensive-minded comp that really would rather the game be extended, why are you trading for, at best, 1-for-1? You know the rest of the team of Gigabyte Marines is there, so the best-case scenario is kind of a loss for G2, so really don't understand.
An item being finished there could have definitely gotten to the head of Expect. Throwing down that Youmuu's to the skies can clear a fight, but this is the damage he was hoping to have. Perk stopped under the turret. He's going to be taken down by Stark. Outplayed.
I don't know about that one from Perks. I mean, yeah, you can almost 100-0, but you got stunned up on the turret. Playful Trickster, not up in time, and that's an overreach.
That's a don't let the confidence hit you on the way out.
I mean, that's like just taking your whole health bar by a turret, because it wasn't like he was making fancy footwork. He stood to attention, auto-attacked with just a couple of Dorans and a longsword. Perks hits the full damage rotation. May have misjudged the damage, but takes the stun, and the auto-attacks do the rest.
And I mean, a dive like this is okay if you can actually queue in to start it, because then you can use the Playful Trickster to get out. But because he used his strike to jive in, he has no way out with the Playful Trickster.
Perks is the only one who can really warp this game. Because him getting solo kills on Cannon, suddenly the plan of just sticking everyone in the lane and taking turrets with not much wave clear doesn't matter. Fizz doesn't want to be standing in front of this onslaught of wave clear. He wants to be making plays around the map. So losing as much they did there means the pressure's relieved by turret.
Already him off the map means more mid pressure. He's going to have to give respect to the top side and do some pruning on that wave, but Gigabyte Marines again have a window.
And to Papa Smithy's point earlier, you know, even if you trade that kill, it's not really worth it. You're the comp that wants time, that wants to scale up, that wants to delay the Ziggs from sieging down your turrets. So that's not something that Perks maybe should have even gone for in the first place.
And that's why, I'll hold the point though.
They are just so aggressive.
On the turret to the skies immediately. Seismic shoved back. Optimus wants a little bit of breathing room for himself.
That Bardol was so good to set it up from Archie, who has been everywhere this game, involved in all but 1 kill. You hit that Bardol just on the turret, not on the Jace, and it's going to go down so quickly.
And that's why I'm surprised that G2 returned to a comp where they clearly didn't get enough done in the early game, but run over, and they're like, okay, this time Perks will be an assassin. He'll warp the game. You can see that Perks feels the pressure. He's trying to make the plays happen, but now you fall into that extra hole. Speaking of holes, they're just going for the front door approach of looking for bonus turrets, and the moment that Perks doesn't get it done, everything is falling around him.
Yeah, I mean, he could have gone for something with a lot more wave clear, a safer, more conservative pick with this composition, but when you go for assassins, you go for broken. Is Gigabyte overstaying here? Doesn't look like it.
It could be. Expect onto Stark here. Stark throws down the ultimate. He's going to get some good stuns on Mega Inferno Bomb back. I feel like Gam's going to lose at least 1 here, but how much did they trade back? Slay is low. And with seeing Archie over the wall, they're going to decide to get out of this one.
And just the 1 for the turret is very nice for the Gigabyte Marines. They are the ones who want to knock these turrets down, pick up the gold, and start sieging as quickly as possible. They need to push the pace of the game, so I think that an aggressive move like that is well worth it.
You just feel like you come back to Expect flashing into a fight. What looks like 4 minutes ago, given its flash, is still not back up. And you remember that that was already kind of misunderstanding where they were at in the game, what their win conditions were. And from there, finally, Gigabyte Marines, who were thwarted for the first 15 minutes, have found the pace of the game they're looking for. So it feels like if you just completely rewrite the last 4 minutes,